Have you ever heard of a ghost ship? A vessel lost at sea, drifting aimlessly with the souls of its passengers trapped aboard forever. Well, today, we're diving into the story of one such ship, a tale so terrifying it will send chills down your spine. Our story begins in 1962, aboard a massive luxury liner named the Antonia Graza, cruising through the Pacific Ocean. On board, 600 wealthy passengers are on their way to New York. In the grand ballroom, a lavish party is in full swing. A beautiful singer croons a romantic tune as couples twirl across the dance floor. The air is filled with laughter and champagne, a picture of pure bliss. But this idyllic scene is about to be shattered in the most gruesome way imaginable. Unseen by the revelers, deep in the ship's engine room, a hand pulls a lever. Instantly, a razor-thin steel cable, stretched taut across the dance floor, whips through the crowd at lightning speed. In a horrifying instant, the music stops, replaced by a sickening slice. Bodies are bisected, falling to the deck in a cascade of blood and gore. The entire ballroom becomes a slaughterhouse. Amidst the carnage, one small figure remains untouched. A little girl named Katie, so short the deadly wire passed right over her head, stands frozen in shock, the lone survivor of a massacre. We flash forward 40 years, we meet a salvage crew on their tugboat, the Arctic Warrior. They're experts at finding and recovering lost vessels. Right now, they're in a tight spot. The old ship they've spent months finding is suddenly sinking, threatening to pull their own boat down with it. The crew's leader, Murphy, a skilled and fearless woman, rushes onto the sinking vessel to cut the tow line. As she gets there, she sees the problem, a massive crack in the hull. Water is pouring in, and they have less than 5 minutes. Her captain orders her to cut the cable and get back, but Murphy is stubborn. She refuses to give up on their prize. In a daring move, she dives into the churning water. 2 of her crewmates, seeing her determination, jump in after her with welding gear. In a race against time, they manage to patch the crack just as the ship is about to go under. Their risky gamble pays off. They tow the ship to port, sell it, and split the handsome profit. Their success hasn't gone unnoticed. A man named Jack, who's been watching them, approaches the crew. He claims to be a weather spotter pilot and has a proposition. He knows the location of a legendary lost ship, one loaded with treasure. He's talking about the Antonia Graza, the very ship from our opening scene, which vanished without a trace 40 years ago. The crew is skeptical. Many have searched for the Antonia Graza and failed. But Jack is confident. He shows them photos and coordinates, claiming he spotted it from his plane. The lure of treasure is too strong to resist, and the crew agrees to the mission. The next day, the Arctic Warrior sets off into the vast, open sea. After days of travel, they reach a remote, desolate stretch of the ocean. Suddenly, their sonar picks up a massive object nearby. And then, emerging from the mist like a phantom, they see it. The Antonia Graza, huge, rusted, and silent, looms before them. It's been drifting in the Bering Strait for 4 decades. The crew is ecstatic, their minds filled with visions of untold riches. The captain decides he, Murphy, and a few others will board and explore, leaving 2 crew members behind on the tugboat. As they step onto the deck of the ghost ship, an eerie silence hangs in the air. The opulence is gone, replaced by decay and rust. Strange, unsettling noises echo through the empty corridors. They follow one sound-trodden clock, its hands still ticking. Then, abruptly, it stops, a chilling omen. As they venture deeper, the ship reveals its ruined state. Floors are rotted, and metal is twisted. At one point, a crew member nearly plunges through a collapsed section of the deck, but Murphy grabs her just in time. As Murphy pulls her colleague to safety, she glances down into the darkness below and sees the little girl, Katie, staring back up at her, looking exactly as she did 40 years ago. It's her spirit. Murphy blinks, and the girl is gone. Was it real? Or is her mind playing tricks on her? Shaken but determined, The team presses on, eventually reaching the main cabin. While sifting through the debris, they make a baffling discovery: a digital wristwatch. This technology didn't exist in 1962. It has undeniable proof that someone else has been on this ship recently. The finding adds a new layer of mystery and danger to their expedition. For now, they decide to return to their tugboat and plan to tow the Antonia Graza back the next morning. But the ghost ship has other plans. The following day, they discover their tugboat has been sabotaged. A massive explosion has ripped a hole in its side, and it sinks rapidly, taking their only way home with it. They are now stranded on the Antonia Graza. In the middle of nowhere, their excitement turns to dread. They have no choice but to try and repair the larger ship and somehow sail it back to civilization. As they begin the daunting task, the crew splits up. Some start working on the engine, while others search for the treasure they so desperately need. Murphy finds herself drawn to the ship's swimming pool. The area is riddled with bullet holes, a sign of another violent struggle. As she investigates, Katie, the ghost girl, appears again at the edge of the pool, startling Murphy. She slips, falls, and cracks her head on the concrete floor. A trickle of blood from her wound seeps into the pool's drain. When she looks up, Katie is gone, and her crewmate, Jack, is there, helping her to her feet. Murphy tells him about the girl, but he dismisses it as a hallucination from the fall. But as they walk away, the camera pans back to the pool. It's no longer empty. It is now completely filled with blood. Meanwhile, the captain explores the ship's bridge and finds the captain's quarters. It's a mess, but he uncovers the ship's logbook. As he flips through the pages, he discovers the horrifying truth. The log reveals that a few days before the massacre, they had rescued a lone survivor from another ship that was sinking. On board that survivor ship, they had found crates filled with gold bars. It seems the crew of the Antonia Graza got greedy. The final entry in the logbook reads, "We have found the gold. God help us." Elsewhere, to other crew members, Dodge and Greer have made a breakthrough. They find the cargo hold and, inside, several large wooden crates. Prying one open, their eyes widen in disbelief. It's filled to the brim with gold bars. They've found it. The treasure is real. They call the others, and soon the entire crew is staring at a fortune beyond their wildest dreams. For a moment, their terrifying situation is forgotten, replaced by the giddy excitement of becoming millionaires. They decide to load the gold onto their damaged tugboat. Wait, no, that's sunk. Their plan now is to repair the Antonia Graza and take it all home, but the ship's dark influence is already at work. Greer, one of the crew members, is lured away by the seductive ghost of the singer from 1962. She leads him to an elegant stateroom, promising him pleasures he can't resist. He follows her, completely enchanted. She leads him towards an open elevator shaft, whispering for him to come closer. Blinded by her spell, he steps forward and plummets to his death. One by one, the ship is beginning to pick them off. The spirits on board are not just ghosts. They are malevolent entities, collecting souls. And the gold, it's the bait. A bottle and a glass were on the table, looking like someone had just been drinking. It felt like the room wasn't empty after all. As the team leader picked up the glass to take a sip, he glanced at the mirror in front of him and saw the old ship's captain standing right there. He screamed, dropped the glass, and bolted out of the room. Strange things were happening to everyone. Mark, one of the crew, started hearing a woman singing. He followed the voice down to the ship's lower deck and saw her the same singer from the beginning of the story. Meanwhile, Murphy and Jack opened a door in the laundry room, and a massive wave of water burst out, carrying several dead bodies with it. Horrified, they ran. As they continued exploring, a cabin door creaked open. Inside, Jack was thrilled to find a luxury car. But Murphy sensed something was deeply wrong and wanted to leave immediately. Just then, they noticed something moving in another room. They pulled away the dusty sheets and found a box overflowing with gold. Murphy quickly called the others. They uncovered more and more boxes, 9 in total, each packed with 28 gold plates. They were ecstatic. The plan changed. Forget salvaging the ship. Just take the gold. They loaded all 9 boxes onto their tugboat and prepared to leave. The tugboat captain went to clean the engine, but suddenly, the gas valve on a nearby cylinder opened by itself, filling the air with flammable gas. At the same moment, Murphy saw the little girl again, running towards her as if to warn her, but something shoved the girl away. The second the tugboat captain started the engine, the gas ignited. A massive explosion ripped through the tugboat, killing him instantly. Now they were stranded in the middle of the ocean, on a haunted ship, with no way out. Panic set in. Mark, heartbroken, stared at a photo of his fiancée. Their wedding was just 2 weeks away, and now he felt he'd never see her again. He found an old bottle of alcohol and started drinking heavily. Murphy, however, couldn't stop thinking about the little girl. She searched the ship's passenger records and found her name, Katie. She went to Katie's cabin and, inside a closet, made a horrifying discovery: Katie's skeletal remains. Mustering her courage, Murphy took a locket from the skeleton. Inside were pictures of Katie's parents, who suddenly appeared right behind her. Murphy froze, terrified. Katie's ghost pleaded with her not to close the locket. She hadn't seen her parents in decades. Murphy couldn't believe she was talking to a ghost. She tried to hand the locket back, but her hand passed right through Katie's. The truth finally sank in. Katie explained that countless souls were trapped on the ship, and they could only be freed if the one responsible was killed. But as she was about to reveal who it was, insects crawled from the ceiling. Terrified, Katie urged Murphy to escape before they all died, and then she vanished. Elsewhere, a drunk Mark started feeling dizzy. The tables and chairs around him began to move and repair themselves, returning to their brand new state from more than 40 years ago. The ghosts of the ship's original passengers appeared, all clapping for him. Confused, Mark assumed it was just the alcohol. The beautiful singer approached, seducing him. Blindly, he followed her, completely under her spell, not realizing she was leading him to his doom. She stood at the edge of a broken floor and beckoned him closer. Mark took a step forward and fell to his death. In the captain's room, the team leader watched a bottle slide across the table on its own. The ghost of the ship's captain materialized before him. The captain poured him a drink and handed him a photograph of another ship, the Lorelei. He explained that years ago, a man told them the Lorelei carried a great treasure. They rescued it and found the gold, just as the man had said. Then, the captain showed another photo, a picture of the man who had told them about the treasure. The leader's heart stopped. The man in the 40-year-old photograph was Jack, and he hadn't aged a single day. He looked exactly the same. Realizing Jack was not human, the leader panicked and ran to find his team. But he was suddenly confronted by the ghost of their own tugboat captain, who attacked him. The leader ran for his life, and that's when Murphy appeared. The ghost vanished, but in his terror, the leader saw Murphy's face morph into that of the dead captain. Believing she was a ghost, he attacked her. Murphy fought back, injuring his leg, but he barely slowed down and lunged at her again. Jack emerges from the shadows and smacks the leader hard on the head with an iron rod, knocking him out cold. It's the same Jack who brought them all here. The leader was the only one who figured out Jack wasn't human, but a demon. And Jack knew he'd been discovered. So, to get the leader out of the way, Jack turns everyone against him. He tells them if the leader wakes up, he might attack any one of them. They all believe him and, in their fear, they toss their own leader into a water tank. With him out of the picture, the team gets back to work, desperate to escape. They weld the gash in the hole shut and pump out the flooded compartments. But then, Murphy realizes one of their teammates, Mark, is missing. She goes looking for him, but suddenly, the little girl's ghost, Katie, appears. She shows Murphy a horrifying sight. Mark is already dead. He fell for a deadly trap set by the ghostly singer. Katie then touches Murphy's shoulder, and the world around her dissolves. She's pulled back in time, to the fateful night of 1962 when everyone on this ship was murdered. She witnesses the massacre firsthand. Passengers were poisoned at dinner, others were sliced in half by a razor-thin wire, and many were simply shot down. The mastermind behind it all was the very singer who had lured Mark to his death. Aided by her crew, she orchestrated the entire heist to claim the ship's gold. Even one of the ship's officers was in on it, killing his own men on her signal. But the moment his back was turned, she shot him too. Just as the singer believed all the gold was hers, the true orchestrator of this hellish symphony appeared from the shadows. It wasn't human. It was the same being who now called himself Jack. He lifts the singer into the air with a heavy chain, ending her life. Murphy, with Katie's help, sees everything, and when the mastermind turns, her blood runs cold. It's Jack, the same Jack who tempted them with tales of gold. He needed skilled salvagers to repair his sinking prison, and he lured them in. Now that the ship is fixed, he has no more use for them. The horrifying realization hits Murphy. They lock their leader in the tank because of Jack's lies. She runs to save him, but it's too late. The tank is full of water, and he's drowned. She desperately smashes at the thick glass, but it's no use. He's gone. Devastated, Murphy finds another teammate, Dodge, and tells him everything. If you see Jack, shoot him on sight. She warns, I'm going to find our last teammate. After she leaves, Jack appears before Dodge. Dodge raises his gun, telling Jack not to move. Jack knows his cover is blown. He tries to talk his way out of it, to get Dodge to lower his weapon. But Dodge isn't falling for it. He fires, sending Jack flying backward. Dodge checks the body and thinks he's dead, but a demon doesn't die that easily. Meanwhile, Murphy finds their last teammate floating lifeless in the engine room. It's just her and Dodge now. She knows what she has to do. She's not just going to escape, she's going to destroy this entire ship. She starts planting explosives in every critical section. Just then, Dodge finds her. I killed Jack, he says, proud, but Murphy shakes her head. Jack can't die, he's a demon. We have to blow up this ship. Free all the souls he's trapped here. But Dodge explodes in anger. Blow up the ship. What about the gold? We can't go home with nothing. Murphy tries to make him understand that the gold is the bait, a trap they were never meant to escape. But her words are cut short as Jack appears, no longer hiding his true, grotesque form. He reveals that he already killed Dodge, and this version of him is just another one of his illusions. You and I do the same work, Murphy, the demon sneers. You salvage ships. I salvage souls. He explains that he was once human, but his sins were so great that he was damned to this eternal task, collecting souls for his master. He needs a ship to do it, and he won't let her destroy his. He offers her a deal. Go, I will spare you. Just leave my ship intact. But Murphy refuses. The demon lunges at her, striking her down with a rod. As he moves in for the final blow, Murphy, with her last ounce of strength, fires a harpoon gun. It doesn't hit Jack, it hits the detonator. She throws herself into the ocean just as the entire ship erupts in a cataclysmic explosion. As Murphy ascends, she sees them all the souls Jack had imprisoned, finally rising, finally free. She breaks the surface, clinging to a wooden crate, and drifts until a passing ship rescues her. Later, sitting in the back of an ambulance at the port, a chilling sight makes her freeze. And directing them, in his familiar human form, is Jack. He turns and looks directly at her, a cold, knowing smile on his face. He's alive, and he's already preparing his next trap, ready to lure a new crew to their doom. The cycle is beginning all over again. And that is where our story ends. Thanks for watching.